welcome back to my page. Today we're going to be looking at the Bright Future Tarot, which is definitely on the list of Simon Made Me Do It, which I am delighted to say he did. The Bright Future Tarot is an absolutely gorgeous deck. It's created by Saskia Lee, who is a psychic, and she has an Etsy page where this can be purchased. Now, I'm going to talk about this deck because I have actually found a deck that I cannot explain how I feel with it, simply because it's something that hasn't really happened to me with other decks before. Now, this sounds rather a strange thing to say because, you know, a deck is a deck is a deck, not necessarily so. I do have decks I absolutely love and adore. I have decks I like. I have decks that are, yeah, okay, they're all right. I have decks that I think, I'm glad I have it in my collection, but I'm not drawn to using it at the moment. And then I have decks, or I had a deck where I thought, nah, not for me, and rehome it to somebody that can identify with it, that can build up a relationship with that deck. So, on saying that, this is a deck that is, well, would I use the term soul deck? Because, you know, people would say, you know, is your soul deck not one of these extremely expensive decks that you've gone for in the past? And I would have thought, well, how does a soul deck make you feel? Well, if a deck that comes along in my life makes me feel like I felt with this deck, then I will have to reevaluate what soul deck means, because just looking at the art in this, it's beautiful, it's clear, the clarity of the message that come from that, using both your intuition and any sort of historical meaning you've got and tying them together, creating, building, diving deeper. It did all that for me. I was going to do this as an unboxing, which I did make a previous video of an unboxing with it, and before I actually sort of got that video together and tidied it up, I decided to read for myself with this deck, and the reading was beautiful. It gave me the kick in the backside where I needed it, and it told me what I needed to hear. I tried a couple more readings for myself with it. I have never actually interviewed a deck, and I haven't interviewed this one, and I don't know why I haven't done it. It's just something that doesn't sort of resonate with me at the moment. It's something I might do later on. I cleanse my decks, I carry them with me, not all of them, otherwise I'd be going around like a pack horse, and this is the deck I'm currently working with. There are a couple of decks that I do have in my reading area, but this is the deck that I'm glued to at the moment. That's the only term to be able to use for it, because I have found that it sang to me. So I had a couple of readings booked in this last week, and I decided to use this deck for both those readings. And as much as I get great clear readings with other decks I own, this just seemed to go that extra yard, that extra mile. It almost gives you, or gave me, sort of not palpitations but butterflies reading with it, because it was just so crystal clear. Now, when I have bookings for readings, I do a meditation beforehand. I do call in guides. I do ask if loved ones want to come through and make themselves known during the reading to do so. I ask for protection. I ask that the person hears what is for their higher good. And this just seemed to overflow. So alongside my guides and everything else, using this deck, it was just amazing. I'm not sort of blowing my own trumpet saying readings that I did were amazing. This deck and I gelled, and it is something that I love. So without me going on too much, I'm going to show you the deck now. it's so beautiful. It comes in two styles. What do I say, styles? It comes with keywords and without keywords. Now, in my heart of hearts, I'm not really a lover of keywords. I did order the deck with keywords. However, I am going to order a second deck that's keyword free, because that would suit me even more. Sometimes I find that keywords can be a little off-putting. In this deck it wasn't, because I was able to just not ignore the fact that they were there, but just not refer to them. So buying a deck without keywords is my next mission. So let's get on with it. Now, as I said, it's the Bright Future Tarot. Beautiful little, I love the colouring, first of all. It's a tuck box, and it's a fairly sturdy tuck box at that. As I said, it's created by Saskia Lee, and I'll read the blurb on the back. The Bright Future Tarot cards are a hand-illustrated 78 card deck and accompanying workbook that blend ancient symbolism with modern psychology to make learning tarot fun, relevant and easy. Tarot experts and clairvoyant Saskia will show you that tarot is a powerful tool for accessing your intuition, and I really did find that these cards did help and enhance my access to my own intuition. While remaining true to the traditional tarot meanings, each card is modern interpretation of the core archetypes, designed to evoke the way the card feels, rather than memorising keywords or trying to interpret arcane symbolism. The Bright Future Tarot presents a new way to learn and use tarot that teaches you to connect to the way the card feels, opening the door to accessing your psychic ability. You will learn that tarot is a visual language and a complete system that can be understood in just 3 simple steps, and it includes a guidebook. Let me see, also available the Bright Future Tarot workbook containing 3-step systems to accurate readings, practical exercises, assessments and real-life case studies. Create your bright future today, from Saskia. And the box does come signed at the bottom there. You can see it's signed on the bottom tab. I haven't opened that, so I'm going to keep that closed there. Now, let's just have a quick peek at the book. The book comes separately. You do not get the, unless you order the set, which is the tarot deck and book. If you just order that on its own, you just get the deck. I do like, if there's books available, I do like ordering books, and just as on a side note there, you can also order a bag for them as well. And bag's beautiful. I'll go through that in a minute. So let's have a look. The Bright Future Tarot Workbook is an extensive guide to the Bright Future Tarot cards, a 78 card tarot deck that combines ancient symbolism with modern psychology, as we've learned. So that's the same there. Let's have a look. The tarot expert and clairvoyant Saskia will show you that tarot is a powerful tool for accessing your natural intuition, allowing you to make accurate predictions, improve your relationships, develop your relationship with spirit, and learn to nurture your inner being through daily self-care. Again, it explains it goes on in 3 ways. Now, I love the books because I like to see what the creator has said about each card, but I like to see what the creator brings that could be deemed as new to the table, or something that other creators haven't brought to the table. And I do feel that when you're purchasing tarot decks, it doesn't matter if you are a complete beginner or if you are somebody who has been reading tarot for a long time. I think taking a look at new creations, new additions to the already abundant market that there is there for tarot, that there's always something different to pick up. Now, what did I pick up for this? What I like. Now, first of all, what I did like is scrying with your cards. Okay, I've not, in all the books that I have so far, nobody appears, and I will have to double check, I could be wrong, but doesn't mention scrying as such. And scrying, as we know it is using the cards to get in touch with our intuition, to see what we can see within the picture, within the images that the picture of that card is invoking, and what meaning we can take from that, you know. It's beautiful. Now, you have your psychic ability and how to get in touch with it, which is great. If you're not doing that, it's great to be able to get involved with that sort of practice. And, you know, it can only be a good thing. I like some of the reading layouts here. Now Saskia herself states that she doesn't necessarily use layouts as such, but will pull the cards out as she feels, and which is a lovely open and natural way to use the cards. You're not sort of relying on traditions and designs created by others, but being new, bringing something of your own to the table, whether you want to share it or keep it to yourself. It's just something that brings something new to tarot. Saskia gives examples of readings that she's done for people and how she interpreted those readings, and it's very, very interesting. And as Saskia said here, scrying means to go into an altered state by gazing into an object. It can be a crystal ball, a black mirror, a bowl of water, tea leaves, candle flame or tarot cards, to name a few. When your mind is in this more relaxed state, information comes to you through your third eye chakra or pineal gland, allowing you to preview events, see places that are far away, and sort of see into your client's life. And that is very true, and that is how I find reading tarot is beautiful. It's enriching. It's fun. You have a small tarot journal at the back, a little quiz for yourself if you're studying tarot. If you're not studying tarot, but you're just looking for something different, this, I would say, is really nice to have in your collection. Now, let's look at the cards. So we'll start off with the Major Arcana. And as you can see, these are hand-painted cards, and they are just beautiful. The card stock is very similar. It's soft, it's smooth, it's matte, and the card stock is nice. You can riffle shuffle nicely with these. I have riffle shuffled with them. I had to sort the deck out before I came and did this video because my cards were all over the place. So here we go. You can see that's the design on the back, and it's almost like, you know, the crystal grid. It's beautiful. And here we have our Fool, and our keyword on that is innocence. So there we go, the Fool. But what I like about this, you know, although we have our innocence there, and that is a great sort of kickstarter for people that are learning tarot, you know, we have the 0 in the numerology that was sort of looking at the absolute, the beginning, starting off, resetting a brand new page, just wiping the slate clean and doing things for you. Okay, so there we go, the Fool. That looks like there's so much. What I like about this, you know, we often see our Fool leaping off a cliff, and here, what we wouldn't necessarily see in a tarot card, this one's actually leaping onto a fallen log that's joining a sort of chasm. So it's seeing an onward journey, taking a chance, you know, it's beautiful. Here we go, the Magician. I love that. That reminds me of Hedwig from Harry Potter. I've referred to Harry Potter many times during my reviews, and you can see I'm a bit of a maniac when it comes to Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. Beautiful. Then we have the Oracle. So our High Priestess is the Oracle. And here we have Intuition and Unknown. So let's have a look at this. Now, look closely at this card. I absolutely love this card. We have the image there that we can see with the sort of High Priestess look, okay? So this is here, okay, with the cycles of the moon here. So this is all, you know, like spirit, looking at chakras, looking at intuition, believing and trusting in ourselves, sort of, you know, also realising that we can get in touch with what's going on out there in the world of spirit. But it's the number 2. And look here, it's balancing this with our everyday life, work. And if we turn it on its side, this way, we can look at that image that's there. We've got our animals, we've got time, we've got the daily bustle of everyday life. You know, it's having a sort of balance and duality in your life, that you're able to look within while still keeping on with your busy day. That not everybody knows about that deepness that you can go into, but you know it's there, and you know you can access it, even though we do have busy lives, and that life in itself is just, well, chaotic at times, but you're able to still access that inner knowledge, trust your gut feeling, trust your instincts, and know that it's your intuition that's kicking in, you know. It's just, it's a beautiful card, and it sort of says it all. Then we have the Empress, another gorgeous card. The Emperor. Wow, now I found this to be quite a powerful card, because, you know, our Emperor, he sort of is there as an advisory capacity, almost like a father figure. But look what we've got here, leadership and structure. And he's playing a game of chess. Well, life is like a game of chess, and it's the faces that we see around are almost like the different hats. We say that we all have to wear different hats. For instance, myself, I'm a mum, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. I used to wear the hat of being a teacher. Now I'm wearing the hat of retired teacher, tarot reader. I love art, artist, poetry, poet. So we all wear different hats, and that's like putting different masks on that you need to face in the everyday life. Having that leadership, having that structure to be able to fit in to all aspects of society in your life that fits in with your life. It's wearing the correct mask for the correct time, showing that you're brave. Sometimes you can be hurt inside, but you have to put on a mask in order to progress at times, and that's leadership, that's sort of structure, being able to cope with the structure of everyday life. Then we have the Hierophant, and I do like this Hierophant because it feels peaceful. It says inner wisdom, divine wisdom there. Then we have Lovers, and Lovers comes as rather a curious one. We've got decisions, okay? So is it decisions on relationships? Is it decisions on partnerships, whether they be romantic or business-like? Now the Chariot and success and action. I love that. And that took me back actually, because I used to love skating, speed skating particularly when I was much, much younger. And this just shows the power that we have to have, the driving force behind the sort of roads that we choose in life, to have the determination, the will and the sheer power to be able to carve out our own path, and that we're not always sort of influenced and led, that we have that ability to go on and, you know, put ideas that we have into place. So, Justice is the karma and legal system. Lovely. The Hermit. Now, this had me looking very deeply into this card, because our Hermit here is on a do not disturb sign that's hanging on a bedroom door or a hotel door, or a door anyway. Could be an office door. But what's going on behind that door? And that's where this took me. I love the Hermit card because it does give us that time to reflect, to go in, to study ourselves and learn more, whether it's learning more about ourselves or learning more about a subject we love, whether it's deeper study, whether it's just taking time out to reflect. But what's going on behind the door? And that's where it took me deeper into me, into my own life. And I wasn't just seeing the Hermit card, I was seeing a door that, does it need to be closed or does it need to be opened? Am I behind that door? What's going on behind that door? And it really kicked the intuition into kick-started it into making a move. So then we have the Wheel of Fortune. And I do like that Wheel of Fortune because it's sort of, as it says, it's the keywords are destiny and control. But it reminded me very much of an old-fashioned fair, and you'd to get the tarot reader and a sort of a tent that, you know, was quite elaborate. It just brought me back. Strength, and look at that inner strength being shown there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is the card that made me think that deck's got my name on it when Simon from the Hermit's Cave showed this card, because it sat very well with me. Now we have our Hanged Man, and there's so many times in my life that I've had to step back and look at things from a different angle and say, well, why has this happened? Why has this hurdle suddenly appeared in my life? How can I go on and reroute? And when I looked at this, look at that, the Hanged Man's cord, I can see the name Joe. Now my father passed away 2.5 years ago, and his middle name was Joseph. and we have our middle child, who's our eldest son. We've called him Joseph. And Joe, both Joes, have sometimes had to look at life and think, well, how can I get around this hurdle that life has thrown me? And that hit home with me very, very deeply. And this, the minute I saw this, thought, I have to have that deck. And I am very, very glad that I listened to that message here and here. Then we have death, and I like this death card because it's actually got colour and newness and a beauty about it, and it's endings and transformations that are on the keywords there. But look at that. You have your sugar skull there with blossoming roses. You know, it's all about the ending of something and the start of something new, giving yourself a chance again. Temperance, we know, maintaining balance. The devil. This devil card made me smile. It's, you know, habitual action, guilt on the keywords. And there's so much more that you can add to that. But you see, my children have always said to me whenever I've been discussing things with them, do you know, Mum, we are never going to let you loose in a room where there's a button that says do not press, because you would press it just to see what happens. And here we go, the devil card, do not press. And they'll say, oh, Elaine, you do things for devilment. And that sort of hit home too. The tower, breakdown and shock. And yes, the tower is, you know, shown to us with that tragic incident of the Twin Towers, and it is shock because there was worldwide shock. And I suppose some people might think, is it appropriate? I think, well, yes, because it was an actual incident, and it's a perfect example to use as to how suddenly things can change, how unexpectedly the carpet can be ripped from under our foot, how the foundations of our very beings can be shaken to the core and toppled. And it happened. This was a tragic gargantuan tragedy of gargantuan proportions, and it's never to be forgotten. And I think immortalising it in a tarot card is actually paying respect to this incident, because it's just saying you just don't know what could happen at any given moment, you know. That's and the breakdown and shock is the other keywords on that card. The star, hope and good fortune. Okay, hope and good fortune. The moon, illusion and fear. Now, I love this. I like the moon cards anyway, but this particular moon card, sometimes we fear for no reason. And as we can see on this card, fear is on a stage. So is the fear you're feeling legitimate, or is it all an illusion? Are you maybe looking at things too deeply? Are you maybe seeing issues where there are no issues? Or, you know, is there something that you need to address in order to get rid of that fear? It's just a beautiful, beautiful card, and I love the fact that it's set on a stage, because when it's set on a stage, it's something that you can handle. It's something that you can either draw the curtains on, deal with it, draw the curtains on, put it off to closure, or it's something that you can say, right, we're looking at things in the dark, it's sort of illuminated, we're not seeing what could be hidden from us, but we know when we've addressed it that all the sort of fears that come in the dark, by the time the sun's rising, we've addressed them, they've gone. Okay, if that makes sense. I sometimes have a very strange way of looking at things. The sun, the keywords on the sun card is harmony and bliss. You know, and then we've judgment. This is quite a card actually. I do like this, because although we have judgment, it's almost like judgment is there, and it also has a little bit of a sadness with it. You can see the beams of light sort of coming down in front of the eyes of this person here, but it's looking back, making changes. What do you want to stop occurring in your life? How do you want it to go forward? What are you going to change? And it's sort of looking back saying, well, I'm not happy with what went on, and this is how I'm going to go. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. And the last card in the Major Arcana is the Universe, Opportunity and Travel. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's balancing our chakras. We've got crystal grids there. We have a serpent that's going through. It's sort of creating. I'm sure it's the Ouroboros around there. I cannot. Yes, it is, I think. And then we've got the astrology signs around it too. But the sort of opportunity and travel, you know, travel where? Travel in our minds, travel in our hearts, or physical travel. It's all down to you. I dropped my deck just now and I was really cursing, so I'm just making sure I haven't damaged the edges. Right, so that's the Major Arcana, and beautiful they are. And now we start with the Suit of Cups. I'm just going to whiz through these. All the aces are good, well, all of them are beautiful, but the aces are just gorgeous. So that's the Ace of Cups. Okay. 2, 3, 4 of Cups, 5 of Cups. Gosh, it's raining hard. 6 of Cups, 7 of Cups, 8, 9, 10. I love that. I think it's beautiful. 11. Oh, sorry, 11. Page. Knight. Queen. And I love that because we all see our mums, many of us see our mums as the queens of our life, and our King of Cups. I love the feeling of togetherness in the cups here, particularly in the court cards. There is a feeling of togetherness, of relaxation. We've got here the Page, which is loyal and sensitive, the Knight, soulmate, Queen, nurturing, King, compassionate, and it does give you that family bonding feeling. Next we're looking at Pentacles, and this Ace of Pentacles is just beautiful. And here we have our Ace. You know, when you look at the cards, you look into it and you can take yourself, albeit we have our Ace of Pentacles here, the image inside our sort of dream catcher pentacle, you can take yourself in through there. Do you ever do the exercise where you step into a card? I did it with this, and I stepped in through that pentacle. It was like, oh, what was that children's programme? Watch with Mother, I think it was called, when we were children. And you go, you know, going through a window, and it was almost like you could open that, step through and see what was beyond this area. And it brings up like a real magical feeling. The Two of Pentacles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like this. You know, we had when we were looking at the 7 of Cups, and we had the Speed Skater. Oh no, sorry, was it the 7 of, that was the Chariot, sorry, where we had the Speed Skater, and she had the number 7, because we know the Chariot is number 7, but she had 7 drawn on her arm. She had on her knee bumper guards there were 3 sevens, and we know that the sevens are all about work, about being successful, pushing forward, and that's what I love about this with the the drones, the worker bees working away, and that you're sort of putting ideas into place, harvesting, putting ideas into place, and bringing everything to fruition. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. 8 of Pentacles, again getting down to the hard work, mastery and reputation. And 9, 10. Oops, sorry, just banged the mic there. Hope it didn't hurt your ears. Then we have our Page, our Knight, our Queen, and our King. I forgot to bring water in with me today, so excuse me there for clearing my throat. Next we have our Wands. This is beautiful. This reminds me, I was in Glastonbury a year last November. It was last November. No, it wasn't. It was a year last November. Before we went into lockdown in 2020, so it was the November, no it wasn't, it was December, the first week of December, and I was going past some beautiful shops on the main street that sold everything esoteric, as most of you know who have been to Glastonbury, and there was a wand with a crystal in the end that looked very similar to that, and that's what that reminded me of, the Ace of Wands. So all being well, we will get to Glastonbury this year, and I'm going to buy myself one of those wands. This card is beautiful. The Four of Wands, it reminded me very much of my friend Michelle, who has an amazing setup at her home where she performs Reiki in a bell tent, and we also have meditations in the bell tent, and that's what that brought me in mind, of comfortable home, and it's definitely something that I'm sure when Michelle sees this she'll be able to resonate with. 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, 7, 8 of Wands, and I love that with the momentum, you know, the lightning strike while the iron's hot, and give everything a move, get the ball rolling. 9 of Wands, resilience. 10 of Wands, we have burden there. Then we have the Page of Wands, which is beautiful, which is what's that? Play, the child. Then that was the Page of Wands. Sorry, the Knight of Wands, inspiration and speed. Queen of Wands, okay, and our King of Wands. They're really gorgeous, just like all the other suits. And finally we have the swords, the suit of swords. Here we go. The Ace, truth and intelligence. 2 of Swords. This 3 of Swords I find amazing, because we know it's arguments, anger, and we know it can be heartbreak, but you know, we're looking at a broken mirror there, or broken puzzle parts, and we know that once we deal with whatever it is that's creating this, we can build ourselves back up again and put ourselves back together, and not see those broken pieces, but see ourselves as a whole. So I'm just putting them out of order there. The 4 of Swords. Beautiful, beautiful representation of the 4 of Swords, and makes a nice change to seeing somebody recumbent on a sort of, well, grave, sarcophagus type of thing. that someone's taken a break, taken time out, sitting on the balcony, feeling that sun, building their energy again. Oh, look, there we have the words. Solitude and sanctuary. Beautiful. The Five of Swords. Six of Swords. And here we've got analysis and logic, and that's the sort of image you would see in puzzles or in spider webs, you know, the sort of how you can analyse things, how logic is used to create. It's beautiful. Seven of Swords. Eight of Swords, feeling trapped, and it's feeling trapped, but are you trapped, you know? Nine of Swords. Again, a different take on the sword cards. Beautiful. Inner torture and addiction, yeah. Things that worry you. Ten of Swords, endings and grief, you know. But again, a bit like the Death card, you know, it brings endings. Endings can bring pain, and yet they are times where we can build ourselves up, start anew, start afresh. You know, Page of Swords is sort of changeable actor. You know, is what you see what you get, or is somebody living too much on a front? Knight of Swords, fighting for a cause. Queen of Swords, and here we have very independent. And finally our King of Swords, intellectual. Okay, intellectual will cut you to the quick with that sword, with his words, using his words as a sword. So folks, this is the gorgeous Bright Future Tarot, and as I said, I'll just show you the bag that I ordered with it. So I did order the set, and I do feel it was well worth ordering. It's one of the wrap sets. So this is the was it Hearts, I think it was called. And you can see it's in tones, these tones here that match the box and the deck. Now I'll show you, oops, very quickly. The book fits beautifully into it, okay, as does the deck of cards. So just to demonstrate how it looks when you have your deck in, let me just gather the deck together. And the colours that have been used are so peaceful. The deck actually feels peaceful. It feels kind. I have riffle shuffled it a number of times now. It's still lovely, still beautiful. And I'll pop them in their box. And then we will close that and pop it into the cover so that you can see how it ties nicely together. So here we have, it's a lovely silky inside, and pop that inside there. So there we have our deck and our book inside the cover. The cover closes beautifully, and I tied one going round this way and one going round the other way, and a little bow in the middle, and it holds everything nicely together, and it sits beautifully on my table. So there you have it. Beautiful, perfect. So there you go folks, the Bright Future Tarot by Saskia, and I definitely give it the thumbs up, and I will put a link to the Etsy shop under this video. So people, whatever you're doing today, enjoy it. It's a bit of a cold one here, it's raining. I think I'm going to forego my walk today because it's a little bit on the wet side. So take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye now.